Hello and welcome back to the Potted RV. My name is Constance, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Today's video, I'm actually going to do something kind of near and dear to my heart. I have a few things that I have to go through the garden and harvest, and a lot of those are herbs. And then I've also got some other stuff that I need to lay down seed-wise, and I'm going to take you guys with me, and then we're going to, I'm showing you this jar, although we won't actually be able to put it into the jar yet, not today, but I'm going to be drying out those herbs, and then I will be making um, Italian seasoning mix. A lot of the recipes you find online contain marjoram or rosemary. Rosemary is a good one. A lot of people do put in Italian seasoning mixes. However, I don't, depending on what I use that Italian seasoning for. In my case, my Italian seasoning, I typically do a soft seasoning and a vinaigrette seasoning. I don't typically put marjoram in there. It's very similar tasting to oregano. It's a little sweeter, a little bit milder, but it is in the commercial mixes. It's never made any sense to me why it's in the commercial mixes, but that's just my own personal, sorry, I got a pin, not piece of hair back, so it's out of my face because I can't take it no more. I've never understood why it's in there. I don't use rosemary in my spaghetti sauces, and I don't buy commercial spaghetti sauces. I never have. I don't see a point in it. So I don't typically put that one in there. I do typically, I'll put garlic chives in it, which a lot of people don't. But I don't have enough of it growing, which is why I have more seed packets, because I'm going to go ahead and seed that one a bit more. I usually do a garlic chive because it has a mild garlicky taste with a little bit of an onion taste to it. I usually do that. Oregano, thyme, basil, and that's my sauce mix. That's typically what I do with my sauce mix. Sometimes I'll go ahead and add garlic powder and onion powder to it too, just so that I don't have to mess with it. But most of the time I don't, because I usually do those separate. If I'm doing a vinaigrette mix, then I'll add rosemary to it, sometimes marjoram, but I don't have marjoram growing in the garden right now, and sometimes savory. I don't have savory growing in the garden right now either, although I do have seed for them, and I didn't have the space for them. So they did not get planted this year, but I will probably do them next year. So let me take you with me, and we'll go ahead and I'll be doing some of the harvesting for the basil, but I have a lot of it already harvested. So I probably won't. I'll go ahead and do the tie off so you can see how I tie them off. And I'll show you some of the already partially dried. It's not dried completely yet, but it is partially dried. But I probably won't end up keeping that much of it, because there's no way on earth I'm going to go through that much of it in a year. I do go through a lot of basil, but nowhere near as much as I've got growing right now. So I'll end up putting that one into my fertilizer. I do a homemade fertilizer, and I will do a video on it eventually. I haven't been able to yet. It's just one of those things I haven't gotten to yet, but I will get there. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this one, and I'll take you along with me while we go ahead and start harvesting some of the oregano and the thyme, and then this right here, which is the insane basil. It's huge. I trimmed it back a week ago, and it is just as big as it was when I trimmed it back. That's this one right here. The Thai basil is also quite large, but that's okay. We don't mind that. Anyways, let's go ahead and take you along with me. So I'm going to use this right here, just because I don't have a basket at the moment, for putting all of it in there. Like I said, it has gotten quite massive. Now I've just now noticed this, and this has to come up before it becomes a massive problem. And that is a weed. That is grass. It is not something I want mixed into this. So this is my thyme, and as you can see, it's gotten large. Right through here I've already trimmed back because I made spaghetti a few nights ago. But I'm going to go through, and what I do is I will come down and I just snip a bunch. This is not likely to be a perennial here, although it is in Arizona. It's not likely here because of the snow, but I'm not sure. So if it comes back, that's fine. If it doesn't, that's fine too. So I'm trying to do this one-handed, and I'm not doing so great one-handed. Now, its flavor profile should be just fine because it hasn't gone to flour yet. So I'm happy about that. Alright, I have the camera the wrong way. So we're going to move to the oregano. And my oregano is very, very big. And we have another little spider right here. Let's see if I can zoom in on him. There he is. Like I said, spiders are always welcome. They help keep the bugs I don't want away. So they're always welcome. So with this, I just come in and try to avoid upsetting my spiders. And just do some quick trimming. Trying to do this one-handed is very difficult, especially when I don't want to disturb the spiders. So go ahead and put this, let me back the camera out, this into my little bowl. And I will harvest a little bit more of it, and then we'll get to the basil. Oh wow, I did not notice this. So my Thai basil, the wind last night split it. That's an actual wood split. So it's fallen into, I'll have to stake it. That's going to be fun. Tells me how much wind I had last night. I had not seen that this morning. So I'll have to be dealing with that soon, because it's now encroaching on other stuff. That's okay. We'll get to that soon too. Alright, so this is the basil. We're going to do a very quick one of this because I have done videos on this, on harvesting this before. So I'm going to pull it back, and right where it splits 1, 2, and then 3 and 4, and then this fifth stem is where I'll snip it. That's going to be, as thick as this is, it's going to be very difficult for me to catch on camera now. But if you look here, this is one of them I've snipped like that already. And these two stalks will end up growing another one. So that is pretty much what we're going to do. And like I said, I'm not going to do much more of that because I already have a bunch of it drying. I don't need any more of it. But that's the other plant that goes into the, my brain. It's the other one that goes into the Italian seasoning mix. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this piece because I don't need any more of it than that. So that's all we're going to go ahead and harvest. I'll have my husband help me with that. I'll still keep it and go ahead and tie it up and stake it because the bees love it. I won't take any more off of that this year. I don't use Thai basil enough to justify it, so I keep it for the bees. I always have. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get back to the table, and I'll take you guys with me, and we'll start on this process. All right, so we've gotten the basil, which basil is really easy. Because you have such long stem right here, this is really easy to tie up and let dry. Oregano. Now, I do go through and wash all of these, but for right now, I'm just going to show you how I tie them. You want to line all the stems. I'm going to bring it down so you can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so let's go that way. Okay, so I'm going to be lining up all of their stems, and I'm not concerned with whether or not I smash the bottom leaves, because it doesn't really matter. And I'm just lining them all up to where the leaves are all facing the same way down. That allows them to dry a little bit better, but it also allows you to compress them down tight enough that when they do dry, you don't have the string, because this is the string I use. And I have to find the end of it now, because it rained last night. There. Okay. That was eventful. So I make sure I cut a fairly long thread of it. And there is a reason, because you want to have a little bit of the tail and really press as hard as you can down on it. And then use the tail end to do your knot. So that way, as it dries, you can actually come in and compress that knot down. It'll slide a little bit more each as it dries, but you also have that tight enough that you should be able to hold. And then I just loop up here because I use tacks, to be honest. Just typical thumbtacks tacked to the wall. I use those for hanging purposes because that's just easiest for me. So I make another looped knot and I hang them in the cabin just like that. No, not cabin, RV, just like that. And you do the same thing with the oregano. Not oregano, I'm getting it backwards. This was oregano. This is thyme. Thyme, in all honesty, is one of those that you can let dry on the counter. It's so small, it will dry. Thyme's not one of them I usually tie up. I usually just leave it in this container, and in all honesty, it's going to be your easiest bet to just leave it in your container and on the windowsill until it dries. Once they're all dry, I do a coarse breaking. I don't do This basil smells so good. I don't do a grind. I know a lot of people that will go ahead and grind it. I coarsely break it up in my hand and then put it in my jar. These jars you can find on Amazon, and I will link them down below. This is actually where I purchased them. And they come with a lot of stickers that'll tell you that you can choose to put on them, as well as a white glass pen that does not wash off, which works out really, really well. I use these exclusively for um, my own spices, the ones I've grown myself, as well as I've moved some of the ones I like best because they fit so much nicer in a spice rack than so many little round ones that just don't stack well. So they do have this little lid, and it pops free just like any other one, and they're great. They are something I definitely highly recommend. I absolutely love them. And this does pop free, but I don't need it to, so because it does have a, if I can get it, you see that, it does have that, but you can, and it is designed to just break free. I just don't see any need to. But they are really awesome, and they do come with the black top little stickers to put on the top too, to mark the lids as to what they go to. I don't use those, but I used to. I just take the white marker and I mark what it is. I love these jars. Absolutely love these jars. So that's pretty much it. Now I will go ahead and link down below. Well, I'll put in the description the exact mixture I do. I don't do it by amounts. I know a lot of people do. They will put my camera's moving. They'll put exact amounts. I don't personally do that. I do my cuttings once they dry. Whatever I've cut goes into the jar. So if you're going to try to use it for sauces and whatnot, um, if you are one of those type of people that cooks with exact measurements, you don't want to follow me. Not with mixtures like that. I don't. I do it to taste. Always have. It's just kind of the way I handle it. And I know I tend to want, and I'll deliberately harvest, I tend to want equal amounts of what I'm putting into it. So when you look at it, there's my oregano, which is about that much. My basil, which is about the same equivalency of the oregano, to be honest. And the thyme is about the same equivalency as the oregano. And that is typically how I do it. When I go to do my last harvest of the season with those, they won't go in a mixture jar. They will end up going in individual jars so that if I don't like the taste, I can balance it out. And that's typically how I work it, where I can adjust back and forth. I never do. I typically am perfectly happy with the ratio I typically run, but I will be honest, I know some people are a little more particular about knowing exactly how much they have of what in what, and I do understand that completely. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day, guys. This was actually a lot of fun. Very weird video, but a lot of fun. Anyways, have a nice one.